In public discourse, firms talk more and more about stakeholders and how important role they have in contemporary business and particularly in projects. But what actually constitutes a stakeholder and what does it mean to hold a stake on something? Better yet, why should we even care about stakeholders? Let's go back a bit. Traditionally, the aim of a project is to satisfy the iron triangle requirements. That is, to achieve desired time, cost, and quality to ensure economic profit of the parent organization. Whereas, in modern thinking, the aim of a project is to satisfy not only the parent organization, but all the other organizations that are participating in the project because they have a stake on it. So, this modern thinking goes beyond the economic profit thinking and beyond the boundaries of the parent organization. Let's examine these other parties called stakeholders. So, what indeed is a stakeholder? Well, stakeholder is an individual, group, or organization who may be affected by, or perceive itself to be affected by a decision, activity, or outcome of a project now or in the future. The individual or person can be from inside or outside the parent organization. For instance, the project manager or a specific inhabitant living near the construction site of a project. The group can also be from inside or outside the parent organization. For instance, engineering department or the neighbors of a construction site that share a common view about the project. Other organizations include firms, NGOs, distinct associations, and so on. To name a few examples, these can be architects, consultants, suppliers, trade associations, or municipal government. So in other words, project stakeholders are entities that have an interest or gain upon a particular project, and that gain can be negative, positive, or neutral, and it can change over time. To give an example, during the implementation phase of a project, an inhabitant living near the construction site may experience noise pollution, meaning that the gain is rather negative. But after the project, this gain can be positive because of enhanced services in the area. Okay, so if the modern project thinking argues that we need to also consider other organizations over the parent organization, then what is the rationale for this? Isn't the sole purpose of a firm to satisfy stockholders and own economic needs? Let's ponder upon this. In traditional thinking, stakeholders are managed to control them and their actions. But why? Well, various stakeholders have divergent objectives, goals, interests, expectations, and success criteria regarding the project. In this traditional thinking, stakeholders are treated according to utilitarianism, that is, as instruments to achieve own parent organization's economic profitability and to satisfy the fiduciary duty to stockholders. So to say, stakeholders are used as means to ends, hence the concept of stakeholder management. But what about the modern thinking? Well, in the modern thinking, stakeholders are managed to take them into consideration and to treat them according to deontology as morally equal objects as the parent organization and its stockholders. In this thinking, stakeholders' different objectives, goals, interests, expectations, and so on are incorporated in the parent organization's decision-making processes and operations. However, this does not indicate that the parent organization's economic profitability would be completely jeopardized. The assumption here is that by engaging various stakeholders in the project, it ensures profitability and value creation in long term for all parties and not just for the parent organization and its stockholders in short term. Although it is possible that the parent organization needs to make some compromises or sacrifices regarding their total profits to meet the goals, interests, expectations, and success criteria of other parties. But this idea of making compromises applies for all the other stakeholders as well. So, in other words, the ideology is that all stakeholders, including the parent organization, are willing to be transparent and meet others in halfway. That is, willing to make compromises and trying not to overrule others. Hence, in modern thinking, we talk about stakeholder engagement or managing for stakeholders.